Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review, and in this indie comic review I will be covering Ninja Kaidan. And starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside of the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give a 7.5 out of 10. I'll now go to showing some of the internal art as well as some of the things that are happening story wise, and then I'll give the rating for that and then move into the story and its rating. So first things first, we end up jumping into the past of this character, and this is actually taking place 8 months ago, as we get to see a little bit more around the character and what he's responsible for and connected to. I'll now jump towards the middle. As we start to move a little bit further into the story, we start to move into the present. And in this, something ends up occurring, to which someone ends up dying. And last but not least, let's jump towards the end. And as we start to jump towards the end, we have Yuki catching up with his missus, Mary Beth, but we also end up catching up with one of the doctors who's somewhat connected to the project. So for the internal art, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into the area of the story. Now, to those who don't quite understand how I give my ratings and reviews for my story, well, story ratings consist of time, especially with new stories, location, and cast of characters. And as things progress, we will end up having references which go back to comic references, to previous comics, to which the author should, or at least the author and or editor should be giving us in the story, which might be important for us to know about. So starting off with first things first, did we get anything in the area of time? And yes, we did, because at the beginning of the story we learned that it takes place 8 months ago, and we learned that it takes place in the area of Eastern Europe, to which we learned that the language that's being spoken there is actually Russian. So it gives us a rough idea where we are in the story. And then we end up moving to the future, which they acknowledge as now, like what are things happening now. And we end up returning to Rhinebeck, New York. And then there's the summit in New Jersey towards the end of the story. The cast of characters consisting of Yuki, Mary Beth, Dr. Sands, I think it is, and Sato, who is actually the main character's father. And she's doing a bit of research into his research. One thing I sort of found with this issue is that it looked like it felt like it was doing a little bit more in regards to character and world building. And the overall story rating for this is a 7.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.